This is the business search page, and this is the heart of the Infomise platform. Essentially, as you can see, all the members have listed their profile and all sorts of details that we'll get to in a minute that have been listed in the profile. And now this search engine, which is very specific and geared to the criteria that we've got listed above over here, it's going to search based on those. So it's very sort of specific and precise in terms of what you're going to get. You're not going to get a million results or a billion results, whatever they might be, because there's simply too much to sort of sift through. The idea is to give you quality results that you can focus on, because time is of great value. So let's start. The first thing, obviously, that you're going to do is that you've got a bunch of business criteria. You can enter any business type of business, whether it's a manufacturing business, a financial services business, or information technology, software, whatever. Or you can search for a specific business name. It might be a company that you're interested in. The type of company, i.e. private or public company, industry, and we have hundreds of industry sectors that we've got listed here, a country, particular city, and then you'll see that we have some enter keywords. And what these are somewhat similar to the AdWords that Google uses for ad search, i.e. businesses have listed keywords that they believe their customers, their prospects, their suppliers, partners, whatever, that they would use to search for them. And they would know what those are if they understand their business, and you'd be able to enter those words and you'll get results based on those. You may be interested in smaller companies or bigger companies, so you can select the number of employees that way. And if they've disclosed their revenue, you could select, again, smaller companies or large companies that have 10 million or more in revenue. So let's use an example. Let's say that we're looking for businesses that are in the wealth management business, let's say. So let's just enter that, wealth management. Let's say we're looking for the guys that are more focused on value investing, which is a particular type of investment strategy. Let's say that we're looking for businesses in Canada, and let's say we only want to look at private companies. So we basically selected 4 criteria. So let's search. So straight away, the first thing that you get is how many businesses were found. And in this particular case, we have 6 businesses. You'll notice that here is a list of all your criteria that you selected. And even when you scroll down, those criteria continue to show over here so that you can see exactly what you search for. The second interesting thing with the results page is that it's very clean and very clear. And not only do you just have the name of the company or their location or their web address, etc., but beyond that, more importantly, which business met more of your criteria. And the ones that that satisfied the most are listed at top. So King West, for example, satisfied 4 out of 4. Perennial was 3 out of 4, etc., and going down to 2 out of 4. Obviously, the ones that met more of your criteria are more important, and so therefore they are at the top. Now, let's look over here. If we wanted to get more details about this company, because we're interested in this one, we would click on View Profile and we'd go to that business's profile page, and I'll come to that in a second. Secondly, you could connect with them right away, and when you click Connect, you'll be taken to your email engine, the email address that's listed on their platform, or on their profile rather. You'd be able to email them there, and you could add them to your favorites. And you can learn more about favorites by looking at the favorites video page. Before I go to View Profile, let's say that we've got these 2 companies that we're very interested in. So we're going to select them to compare. And we selected this one to compare. And when we hit the Compare button, what you've got is, here they are, Perennial Asset and King West. And here are all the business profile elements that they have set up in their profile. So you can do a line-by-line comparison of what they do, which industry, how many employees they have, what their business description is, what their key differentiators are, and go into other details. And all these elements, this particular business doesn't have the other details listed out, but it serves the purpose in that you can see that you can do a line-by-line comparison. So it's a lot easier for you to be able to say, I'm interested in this business versus that business. And these are all the elements that are there in their profile. Let me go back to the search results, and let's say I want to look at, in more detail, the profile of this business. So, or let's say this one. So I go to this business, and straight away, here's their logo, here's their profile summary, here's what they specialize in, what kind of employees they have, number of employees rather. There's social media links. You can go to their LinkedIn page. Here's a business description, and you can see more details by simply clicking here and opening that up. And this is a very interesting part of the site where these are the key differentiators. And what they're saying here is, why is it, or what would make you want to do business with them? How they differentiate themselves in the marketplace. Very few websites would have that, but obviously it's quite important to see what they see as their differentiating elements for why you should do business with them. And then we have these things called the key information pods. And these are 6 of them. Some corporate information, what they buy and sell, what they need, stakeholders, their strategic elements like vision and mission and strategy, and what the business economics, what markets they serve, how they get their revenue, what kind of type of expenses they have, and things like that. So let's open one of them and just see the details. So this is the company information. They've been in business in 2006. They're a private company. Obviously, they don't issue any annual or quarterly reports because they're a private company. And let's see what their key people are like. And so here we have who these people are, what their background is, and all of that detail is there. If we go to what we buy and sell, we would have what are the major products and services they sell, major products and services they buy, so that suppliers can see, these people are interested in this sort of stuff, we should perhaps target them. What their product differentiators are, and what's new, etc. What we need, this is an interesting part that we've added, and what this is that what this is trying to say is that if, for example, the type of customers that they do business with, you can see very clearly who their customers are, and therefore if you're like that type of customer, you might want to do business with them. And those details are listed here in terms of suppliers, customers, products, services, strategic partners, etc. Similarly, if we go to stakeholders, the type of customers they have, the type of suppliers, the type of employees, etc., type of funders. So bankers could see what kind of funders they've been doing business with, or it could be angel investors or venture capitalists, etc. All of them can find that type of information over here. In terms of strategic elements, what their vision is, what their mission is, what kind of corporate values they have, what their overall strategy is, and things like that. By clicking on each one, they would have details listed on those things, etc. In terms of business economics, what kind of markets they serve, what lines of business they're in, what are their major sources of revenue, major type of expenses they have, etc. So basically, at the end of the day, what you have is a much more holistic view of this business, and you can determine whether you want to do business with them or not, for that matter. You may choose to like their content, you may add them to the favorites because you want to follow this company, or you could connect with them by simply clicking on the connect button, and that would open up your email engine, and you would email them at the relevant email address. So this is essentially Business Surge. The fundamental goal is to save you time to be able to find just the right businesses that you're interested in, so that your salesmen can be more efficient, your buyers can be more efficient, they know something about the business, something about the people, about this thing, before they pick up the phone and call them or email them.